Hi, everyone. Welcome once again to our Friday Spotlight program here on KSJE. And joining me in our visual radio studio, some of the cast and crew of the upcoming Theater Ensemble Arts production of Four Weddings and an Elvis. Good afternoon, everybody. It's great that you're all here. Thank you for coming in.
Hey, I appreciate you having us in.
There they are.
Thank you.
Yes, let me introduce everybody who is here with me this morning. Chuck Holmes is here. Good morning.
Good morning.
Once again, Melanie Leeson is here. Good morning.
Hi, everyone.
And Annette DiGiacomo is here. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good to see all of you and have you all here to talk about this great, funny play. And so, Melanie, you are the director, so let me start with you about Four Weddings and an Elvis.
So it is a play that is set in a Vegas wedding chapel, and it follows the character of Sandy. She owns the chapel. She has been married 4 times, divorced 3 times, all the same guy.
Oh,
And-
well, that's consistent, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And so it's kind of a glimpse in the day of the life of her running the chapel. So the first couple that shows up is a couple that is getting married to get revenge on their exes. And then the second couple that shows up, Chuck is in that scene, and it is a pair of washed up celebrities who are trying to gain publicity. So they're getting married.
Okay.
But the press isn't there.
Oh, dear. Okay.
And then our third couple, which Annette is part of that one, it is a postal worker, very kind, gentle, quiet, and he's getting married to an ex-convict.
Oh,
So,
okay.
hilariousness ensues.
And there you go.
And
right.
then finally, Sandy's getting married again. And that's
Ah.
our final scene.
And that's the 4th wedding, right? Okay.
So we got our
Got
4
it.
weddings.
And so this is something that you had kind of heard about, this play, and then when they were talking about it at TEA, Theater Ensemble Arts, you decided this is the play for me to direct?
Yeah, it was thrown out as part of our play selection committee, and the title alone sold me. So, of course, I picked it up to read it. And I've been involved in other productions, but had never directed. But as soon as I read the script, it was like, I have to be a part of this show. This play is amazing.
There you go. Well, let me turn to your fellow, your actors who are here, who have been cast, and you made those decisions too, right? To put these folks in these positions, right?
Indeed.
And so, Chuck Holmes, talk to me a little bit about your character.
My character is a character named Bryce Cannon.
Okay.
Very well-known actor 30 years ago, but now in the time that the play is set, nobody knows who he is. No one cares who he is. So they're actually having a publicity event to try to get their fans to start recognizing them again.
Gotcha.
He was famous 30 years ago, and he's not famous anymore.
I see. And your future wife is in the same boat, right?
She is. We actually starred together in a television series 30 years previous to the time this play takes place, and she's trying to get back in the spotlight as well.
Okay. All right. So that's your wedding. That's
I play
your
a
part of it.
very colorful character.
I can't imagine you not playing a colorful character, but okay, I see what you're saying. And now let me turn to you about your character too, Fiona, right?
Fiona.
Yeah.
Fiona
What's going on with Fiona?
She's a mess.
Oh dear.
She has a bit of a past. Met Marvin online, and they just fell in love, but she was incarcerated at the time. And so she has to... It's funny because she's entertaining and hilarious, but she's also struggling between who she wants to be and who she was.
Right.
But as Melanie said, hilarity ensues, and it's just our scene is a wreck, but a beautiful wreck.
A beautiful wreck. Okay, well, we like that. And we were talking about, before we came on the air this morning, about comedies and how fun they are to do, and how
Yes.
Farmington audiences really seem to, and San Juan County audiences really tend to enjoy coming out to see comedies, but they're not always that easy to do, right? It's all about timing and delivery and stuff like that. Is that what you found?
Absolutely. The chemistry between me and Marvin initially was a little rough. We didn't really know each other, whereas Steve Bornstein plays my other opposite, and he and I have been friends for several years now, and we just have a very vicious chemistry. We like to spar with one another, and so it works beautifully in our scene. And Bryson, who plays Marvin, was a little intimidated at first, and so it was really hard for us to get in a groove, and so we met a couple of times outside of rehearsals to run lines and just get to know one another, and that it shows in our scene, and it's really been beneficial for us. But yeah, it's really hard. And some of the lines to us are just so funny that it's hard for us to get through the scene. Steve and I are no longer allowed to make eye contact. We can't get through the scene without one of us giggling like idiots. So.
Right. So, well, it's good that you figured that out sooner than later, I suppose. So there you go. Melanie, when you've got actors like that have some maybe off-stage relationship, friendships, whatever it may be, is that something that you kind of keep in mind when you're casting these folks, or at least how they might interact on the stage?
I don't think I really thought about it. This play has a huge cast. There's 11 people in it, which is
that's a lot.
That is a lot. Naturally, there was going to be some crossover, people who knew each other, but we also have some new people who'd never met. But I've noticed overall, everybody has good chemistry together. There's a lot of downtime depending on who's in what scene, so people have time to bond and spend time together outside of their scene. So we've got a good camaraderie going on. Okay,
that's very good. Chuck Holmes, let me ask you about your onstage spouse or future spouse, perhaps, right? Drop some names.
Acting mate.
Yes, exactly, right.
I don't know. Stephanie Overson? Is she? McDonald. Stephanie McDonald.
Okay.
Gotcha. She's a
Have you worked with
actor.
her before?
No, I haven't. In fact,
see.
Melanie did great in casting this play, in that she's got actors that it's their first play. Mm-hmm. She's got veteran actors like Annette and myself. She's got actors that, have been in 2 or 3 plays. I mean, she actually cast across the talent pool and got some amazing actors that you wouldn't even know actually had the talent. So Stephanie's brilliant. She's very nervous. It's her first play that she's ever been in her entire life, but she's just coming through as a trooper. She was one of the first people to learn all of her lines and start actually acting instead of reading the book and holding the book.
Sure. Well, good for her.
Yeah, Stephanie McDonald is just fantastic, and I'm pleased to be kind of her support in her very first play that she's ever been in.
Which is great. Yeah, terrific. Well, very good. My guests this afternoon talking for Theater Ensemble Arts, and they're getting ready to put on 4 Weddings and an Elvis. And it is coming up next week, everybody, at Farmington's Tota Theater. The play will debut next Friday, February 14th, correct, everyone? And the dates are on the screen for folks who are watching us, but for the radio audience, 7:30 p.m., February 14th. 15th, and then the next week, February 21st and 22nd, and there's a matinee on February the 23rd, which must be a Sunday, I would imagine. So there you go. Tota Theater, $12 tickets for adults, seniors and students are $10, and everybody should come see the show is what you're telling me, right?
Show up a little bit early. You can have a glass of wine or a beer and get some concessions, popcorn, coffee, tea, whatever you would like.
Right.
And
down to Tota.
Kind of meet and greet the people that are going to be there, because we really do have a strong audience base here in town.
That's great. Well, and to see people that we know and love from the community on stage performing, I mean, that's really the great thing about community theater, I think, is to be able to see some of these folks that are on stage and performing for everybody else, right?
Yeah. And with such a big cast, if you come, you probably know somebody who's up there on that stage, or at least recognize somebody from the community.
Right.
And keep in mind, this is the opening show of our 23rd season, and theater companies don't stay around for 23 years. But we expect to be around 23 more.
Well, that's exciting. I know. Congratulations and bravo, Theater Ensemble Arts, for being here for so long and continuing to grow and bring these things to our community. And that is some of the conversations that you have maybe in the off season, right? Is what the next season is going to look like, and what plays to bring and what to perform and things along that line. And so as we move along, there are auditions coming up for the next event, right? And that is what I want to talk a little bit about too.
That's exciting, actually, what we've got going on with that.
Tell me about Sherlock Holmes and the Sinister Trio by local author, playwright Britt Ward. Melanie, you might know him.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
So this play actually kind of came around as a competition between Chuck's son, Talon, and Britt. And I don't think either one of them was taking it seriously, where they were like, oh, I bet I could outwrite you in a play. But then Britt is Britt, and he went home and started writing. And a few weeks later, we got this play. And we have what's called our play selection committee. We get together, reread plays, and start planning for the next season. So yes, we're already working on season 24, even though
Right.
we haven't started season 23.
Well, okay.
And so we had a couple of read-throughs of the show. He's been working on it, adjusting, making changes, and we voted it as a board that we're going to do this show. And Joey Herring is going to be directing it. And we have auditions coming up. So Saturday, February 22nd at 2 p.m. and Monday, February 24th at 6 p.m. down at our scene shop at 818 West Arrington. The show opens in April. And it's Sherlock Holmes. It's exactly who you expect. There's mystery, there's murder, there's going to be some really cool costumes.
Nice.
So if you want to get involved in your local community, here's another opportunity.
How big a cast do you have for this? Do you know? Or how many folks you're looking for?
I want to say that it's 12, but don't quote me.
Okay.
Well, and I had my hat in the ring to direct this play as well. I've done some directing here locally. And so Joey and I were at odds. We settled it with an arm wrestling contest, and I lost.
Oh. Get her next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. But for folks who maybe haven't auditioned before, do you have any advice? Those of you all have done it. So what should people prepare for if they really want to be like some of your other actors in their first play in April?
You just show up.
Just show up.
Yeah.
Nothing
Just show
prepared.
up. It's a cold read, and really it just depends on you.
Yeah, be yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
You
And
know,
a cold read is just you give me
they
something to
give
read and you read
they
it
give
and
you the
then you
scene
go.
and a partner, and you just
That's what you do.
play with it.
Okay. No singing, no dancing.
No,
Not in this
I mean,
show.
if you want to, sure. It's all up to
A
you.
little overkill, but okay,
Yeah.
you could do it, I suppose. So there
Yeah.
you are. But that's the next play coming up, and the show dates will be in April 17th, 18th, 24th, 25th, and 26th.
Yes.
And so there you go. So that seems to be like a kind of a quick turnaround. When did you guys start rehearsing for this play, the Four Weddings and an Elvis?
We started in the beginning. Well, we had auditions at the end of
Mid-December.
November. We started rehearsals beginning of December. The first show of the season is always a little tricky because we have holidays, we have potential bad weather days. So we try to get started as early as possible, knowing that we'll have those obstacles. But that makes the show even better because we have a little bit more pressure. So that makes everybody work a little bit harder.
Right.
And
Gotcha.
everybody is just doing beautifully. It's going to be a great show.
Nice. And it's going to be at the Tota. And so that stage isn't the largest stage in the area. Does that offer any unique staging opportunities or challenges for putting on a play with 11 people?
Compared to our rehearsal space, we get it
Absolutely
spread
not.
out
I see.
all over the
Okay.
place.
So it is different, right?
Yeah.
But no problem. It works.
No, it's
So.
it's going to be perfect. We are so excited. We move into the Tota on Sunday, and we're just all anxious to get there.
It's
And
a
it's-
fun theater to perform in.
It's a great venue. It's one of those old 1930s, 1940s movie theaters. Just come for the atmosphere of the theater, if nothing else.
Right. Well, if you haven't been to the Tota, you need to. That is a treat in and of itself. And then
Yes.
seeing the play is like the cherry on the cake of your evening, basically,
Yeah.
if you're going to
And-
go.
And we're hoping that people will make a night of it. Downtown Farmington is open for business.
Very
There's
true.
local restaurants. There's Three Rivers. There's KB Dillon's. There's the Chili Pod. There's Spoons. There's Mikasa. Come down, have a nice dinner. Maybe get some dessert. If you forget to get dessert, come see us at the concession stand. We'll have candy and other goodies available.
Very true.
And it's Valentine's Day, so if you haven't made date
Make
plans,
a date.
That
It is
could be
the
a
We've
good.
got
perfect
you covered.
date play.
See?
Absolutely.
You got our backs. Thank you very much, TEA. That's good advice. And I can safely say Main Street in front of the Tota is open.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
not part of the construction,
Right,
so
yeah, right.
just yet. So it's easy to get to. So there's really no excuse not to come down and check it
and
out
there's a
and be part of the
nice
show.
parking lot in the back if you don't feel comfortable parallel parking on Main Street. I cannot parallel park,
Oh.
so I park in the back.
Okay.
and
And
walk
also
around.
park across the street at that bank. They've got that big
Yes.
parking lot.
Again, you don't have to parallel park on Main Street because
Right.
I can't do it.
There are plenty of other places. That's true. That's true. And one of my favorite sayings is, a lot of the parking lots on Main Street, you're still closer than if you were at the mall. So
Yes.
Right?
there
Yes,
you
yes,
go,
yes.
everybody.
And they don't have live
Absolutely.
theater at the mall.
They do
They
not.
don't.
That's
well, I
true.
mean, people watching kind of is, but that's
That's
subjective.
true. That's a good point, Annette. But anyway, the rest of the season I want to ask you guys about too, because I know you always do an outdoor production, and
Yes.
that is no different this year. And you're getting into a little bit of a Shakespeare thing, right? coming up in August.
Yes.
That's going to be our 5th show out at the Lions Wilderness Park. We've been doing it for the past 4 years, going on 5.
Yeah.
We're doing a Midsummer Night's Dream, and that is being directed by Mr. Britt Ward, who is a very unique yet brilliant director. He really gets the most out of his cast.
Yes, he does.
Okay.
Yes.
I like that. And so this is it traditional to Shakespeare, or is Britt taking some directorial license in
You
putting this show
never know.
on, or do we know yet
I
what
think
he's got
there's
planned?
going to be a little bit of both.
I see. Okay.
So it's going to be the dialogue that you know, the characters that you know, the setting that you know, but some surprises.
Okay. I like it. And of course, the setting, though, is kind of unique because anything outdoors at Lions Wilderness Park, you've got the sandstone bluffs and the cliffs and the rocks and the trees and the pinon and all that stuff that's out there that really makes it into a unique setting to put any play on out there. And so that'll be part of the story, too, I
Yes.
suppose.
And he's already got some plans. We're taking some of the set pieces that were used in Robin Hood, and we're going to tweak them, add some surprises, some extras.
Nice.
We like to reuse and recycle.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, Annette and Chuck, are you two planning to audition for this performance as well in
I do.
August? Annette?
I do. I cannot audition for Sherlock Holmes because I have the vagina monologues in April.
Which is a different
thing
that
I
you'll
will
be
come and
back on
visit
the air
you for that.
Yeah, we'll
Yep.
be talking again. That's true.
But I
Okay.
do intend to audition for Midsummer Night's Dream, and I intend to bring my daughter Alula, who's 12, and she was in Get Smart 2 years ago out at the Sandstone.
That's a
and
powerful young actress there.
She,
Nice.
as her mother, blew me away in a cold read audition, like we were talking about
Oh,
earlier.
nice.
She just showed up with Mom because I forced her, and they handed her a script, and I stood there watching her, going, "I don't know who this kid is."
Well,
I was completely blown away,
How about
you
that?
know, and so she's coming with me.
very nice. Chuck Holmes, will we see you perhaps
Perhaps
romping among the rocks at Midsummer Night's Dream?
it just kind of depends on my my actual employment schedule, but
Oh, come on.
I rarely turn down a chance to, if nothing else, audition for a play. So
Right.
I'll at least be there for auditions, and if I get cast, hey, maybe I'm lucky.
There you go. Very good. Is there anything about Shakespeare that you enjoy doing or being in? I mean, I know you've done it before, but does that have a certain level of, I like Shakespeare, or it's got a little bit of extra stuff to it because the dialogue is so specific?
Stuff to it. Most important thing about doing Shakespeare is understand the dialogue. Know what the actors are saying. Otherwise, the audience won't know what you're saying.
Well, true.
So-
That's very true.
Yeah.
But I guess, too, if you don't have the dialogue or the lines memorized just right, the audience can probably know if,
Yes.
if you're skipping over stuff or trying to fill in with whatever it is you forgot.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
With
a little bit
big
harder
name plays,
to,
yes.
to ad-lib, I suppose.
Yeah.
It is, but it's going to be a fun play.
It will be
and,
fun.
And I, like I say, rarely turn down a chance to audition.
I understand. It will be
with you,
fun.
Chuck.
But that is the season coming up. For Weddings and Elvis coming up next weekend, everybody, February 14th, 15th, 21st, 22nd, and 23rd at the Tota Theater. Sherlock Holmes and the Sinister Trio also at the Tota in
That's
April.
an original play.
Original play, right? April 17th, 18th, 24th, 25th, and 26th. Based on, of course, Sherlock Holmes, but a story that you have not heard before.
Correct.
So there's that. And of course, Shakespeare's Midsummer Night's Dream at Lions Wilderness Park Amphitheater, August 13, 14, 15, 20, 21, and 22. That's 6 performances. That's
Yes.
a lot.
We
You
are
guys are busy.
our first run through out at Lions. We followed our normal schedule and had a matinee
Right.
in August.
Oh, dear.
We cooked
It
all
was
the
fun.
actors. All
Oh,
the
it was
actors
fun.
got cooked.
So these
we
are
learned-
evenings, you're
yes,
saying.
we learned for our August show, move all the performances to evenings, and then
Much happier cast.
everyone
and crew.
enjoys it
Yes.
a lot more. And a
Right.
happier audience.
I understand. So,
Yeah,
Much
It's real
happier
hard out there.
audience.
but, so there you go. Well, that's
We
great.
learn something new every day.
Well, good. Well, that's important too. So that's great. Well, and I want to ask you all again about community theater and just how important it is to get out and support what you all are doing, because you're all volunteering. You're not
Yes.
paid for doing this type of thing. You do it because you love to do it. And again, we love supporting the arts here at KSJE, and I mean, we want the community to support the arts. It's so
Absolutely.
important, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, for me, community theater is my therapy. So you can come and, pay to watch me go through therapy if that's what you want to do. It just helps me escape my day-to-day life, being a mom and wife and all of that stuff. But you'd be surprised what's out there. the entertainment factor. I've gone to many community shows that I had never heard about and was just blown away. You know, I started TEA almost 13 years ago. Thank you, Chuck.
You're welcome.
I was pregnant with my daughter and did my first performance and had no idea the contacts you make and just the people that are out there. It's a family.
It really and truly is a family and a community of people that exists within the community, and everybody's welcome to come be part of it.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Right. But what do you get out of it, Chuck Holmes? You've been doing this for a few years, not many, but
you know,
but you must enjoy it, right? Because you have a
I-
job and you have a family, and but you still make time to do this because you must love it.
I enjoy every aspect of it. I've directed, I've done stage managing, I've done backstage work. I enjoy the building aspect of it. Obviously, I enjoy being on stage in front of the audience, but that's not the most important part. It is. It's building a community, meeting new people. Almost every single show that we do, somebody new comes in, and they become part of that community, and it really is kind of one big happy family. Well, not always happy, but,
Right.
Okay.
but it's
you work
one
through
big
it.
family.
You
Yeah.
work through it.
Yeah.
That's good. But that's wonderful. And Melanie, I know as director, being behind the scenes, this is something, and you haven't directed a lot of plays, I don't think, have you?
This is my first time directing. I've
Okay.
staged managed 3 other shows previously for Theater Ensemble Arts.
Okay.
And have been involved in various other behind the scenes aspects. And
So you've caught the bug too, because here you are.
Yeah, and I was in 2 shows and discovered acting is not for me, but
Although she's a brilliant actor.
thank you.
See?
But there is a lot that needs to be done backstage, running the lights, doing the set, doing the costumes, and that's where I have found my enjoyment. But
Nice.
like Chuck said, it really is a family, and for all three of us have had our kids involved in some way or another. I'm hoping that my son, as he gets old enough to actually be a part of it, can help with something or act in something. But for now, he just terrorizes the rehearsal space and makes our actors laugh.
That's fair. Okay. Well,
But that's important.
knowing who his parents are, I can't imagine he will escape that. But I would think that's probably a pretty good thing. Well, again, we hope everybody will take advantage of the upcoming performances and check out and support community theater from Theater Ensemble Arts. And again, the 23rd season. Congratulations! That's again a great run, and we hope for at least 23 more.
23
Yes,
more at least,
absolutely.
yes.
So there you go. But that's very exciting. And then I know later in the fall you'll do a reveal for season 24, will you not?
Yes, we will.
So another great party.
And on that note, if you want to be involved in our season reveal or other VIP events, we encourage people to go and buy season tickets. So those are available online, or you can buy them at the door before For Weddings and an Elvis. And instead of paying $12 per show, you can only pay $30 to see all 3 shows that we're putting on this year. So it gives you VIP access to some of our events that aren't open to the general public, and you get to save a little bit of money.
That's a great deal. And would that be at the squareup.com
Yes.
website?
Yes, it will
That you
be.
can go and search for Theater Ensemble Arts, and you can buy tickets either individual or the better deal, the season ticket,
Mm-hmm. Yes.
right there. So
And again, they'll be at the door as well, and we do take both cash and credit card.
And it's a tremendous help to the theater company
Yes.
to have season ticket holders that truly support us year after year.
very true. That's very true. Well, everybody, much good luck. Break all the legs and everything else that needs to be said. But I appreciate you all coming in to talk with me about this today.
Thank you, Scott. We
Thank you for
appreciate
having
you
us.
Having us.
Yeah.
You're very welcome. My guests from Theater Ensemble Arts, everyone, talking about their latest show, For Weddings and an Elvis. It starts next week at the Tota Theater. Back with more. I'm Scott Michlin. This is KSJE.